Good morning, everybody. Daniel Whited here in Denver, and Dr. Kurt Fisnick, our resident doctor for Sisel International, and what we're doing here with all the Sisel field leaders and those that are interested in just getting healthy. And we're going to talk about the word health today. I'm talking about just wrapping your brain around looking at things different. There's, just for an example, you talk about health, we talk about food. I remember listening to a guy that he gave a speech, and he lost a couple 100 pounds. And what he did, he started visualizing food that will kill you as, gunky, horrible, with I'm going to say it real blunt like he said it. He goes, he loved to eat donuts. He said, I started visualizing donuts and having maggots and flies and all kinds of bacteria on them. And he goes, and I started visualizing carrots as being like luscious and beautiful and awesome. And he got himself healthy by how he approached and how he looked at food. And so that's not even on our topic probably. Maybe it will be, knowing you and I. No telling where we take this train some days. But that was interesting. So how you look at things does change what goes on. So if you got to have walk in belief, and you have belief, everyone has belief. Everyone has faith. They either believe they can or they believe they can't. One of the two, all right? And that's how people's belief is. They either believe they can or believe they can't. And so if you're going to believe something, why not believe that you can get healthy? Why not believe there are avenues out there to get you there? And that's what we're doing with Sisel International by, number one, getting all toxins off your body. You never have to put anything toxic on your body again, and then extracting those toxins out. Well, we've come up with an A.G.E pill that will give you some optimal health when it comes to supporting the stem cells and getting the sludge and junk out of your system. So, Doc, I don't know what you think about all that, but we're just glad to have you. And Doc, welcome to the call. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, DW, and thanks for having me. And boy, I love doing this call because we get to explain things to people so they can figure out how to get healthier. Yeah, when you bring up donuts, man, I love donuts. I'm home. My mom makes her homemade sugar-coated donuts, and we were talking before the call. Donuts are a perfect explanation of this whole glycation and lipofusion that the A.G.E pill cure, or well, we can't say cure, but that it fixes, corrects, changes, whatever word you want to use, DW.
Well, I say support. Support's a great word. How's that?
Yeah, it supports it too, right?
You betcha. But also cleanse it out. I mean, it's you talk about like a like a bunch of sludge. It gets rid of the sludge, gets rid of the junk that's going on there, and so that's the one of the benefits. Yeah.
Well, like we were talking about before the call, you mentioned donuts, and so and we talked about before the call. We mentioned donuts as well. Making a donut is a perfect example of glycation and lipofusion because you're taking that flour, that sugar that's in the donut, and you're throwing it in oil, right? And you're cooking it at a high temperature, and what it does, it gets that golden brown color, and that's what happens in your body every day when you eat stuff that has sugar in it. Well, any carbohydrate turns into a sugar, even fiber turns into a sugar. It breaks down into sugar, and that's what your body does with it. And then the fats, they create the lipofusion, and so we've got a product that can make a difference on all that, and we're seeing some crazy things. I mean, have you seen some of the testimonials that are coming in, DW?
You know what? I've been living one. Seriously. I mean, Doc, I'm down over 15 pounds, maybe a little bit more, and and we talk about this a little bit, but I wake up refreshed and bam, ready to hit the road. And when I go to bed at night, I used to have the hardest time getting to sleep and shutting my brain off and all that stuff. When it's time to go to sleep, I go to sleep. I'm sleeping longer and what I think deeper because I'm having some awesome dreams and junk. And so that is a big deal. We're seeing muscle strength returned. And here's one of the craziest things. I don't know how to explain this one, but I want to do things that I would have never thought I wanted to do at age 56. And so that's been absolutely a blast, kind of looking at some of those things and seeing how that pans out. So, for an example, all right, and you may have heard me share this the other day when Tom was on the call, but For an example, never had a desire to climb any kind of mountain or do any kind of hiking. But all of a sudden I woke up and I was going, man, Danielle's climbed a 14-footer, which is, Doc knows what I'm talking about, it's 14,000-foot mountain, and she wants to do it again. And I looked at Helen and I said, I think I want to climb that mountain. She goes, well, if I'm going, she's going. And so just to have the thought in your mind that you want to go do something again, it wakes you up, because your cells do not know how old you are. They just know how old they feel. Did you hear what I'm saying there? Your cells don't know how old you are. They just know how old they feel. Well, sure, if you have a house and you sit there and you got a garbage disposal and you throw things in that garbage disposal and you never turn it on and run the water on it, it's going to build up until nothing can get through that garbage disposal, which is like a cell. And that's what happens with people. Their cells are like garbage disposals, and they never get a chance to get cleaned out. Well, you got to turn the water on, and you got to hit the electric button and clean out the garbage disposal, and it's going to work great. Well, your cell's like that. What turns on the water? What turns on the garbage disposal? It's that A.G.E pill. It's getting that. You use the word glycation. It's getting that sludge, that junk, that garbage, that trash that's in your cells. It gets it out. So that's what I'm excited about, and we're getting results. Like zippity-doo-dah, like woohoo results. And so it's Miss Helen has her own testimonies and stuff she can share anytime, at some point too. But it's just really making a difference, and you can tell when you take it and don't take it. So, Doc, I'm glad you asked, because I can really talk about that particular product like all day.
Oh, it's one of those products that you can give to people. I was talking to a friend of mine on Sunday, and she was saying that she can give anybody a 2-week supply. She gives them basically a half a bottle, 3 pills in the morning, 3 pills at night. She gives them a half a bottle, and she says, you go home and take this, and then let me know in 2 weeks if you want some more. And she said every single person calls her up. Her son, who's in his early 20s, he took a 2-week supply, and he went home and he was just running around the house getting stuff done. And the son's wife said, "What are you doing?" And she said, I want to try it. And so she took some of his pills, and so he ran out early. He didn't have a 2-week supply. Now he only had like a couple days supply. And all of a sudden she's running around the house getting her stuff done, and it just gives them that much energy from taking that pill. And so she said, can I just start ordering bottle after bottle after bottle? Can I start ordering a 6-pack of it and splitting it up into 2-week supplies because of that? And what's it doing? Well, like DW just said, it's cleaning out the junk. It's getting rid of the sugar coating. It's increasing the energy. It's giving you the electricity, the hydrogen that your body needs, so that you have that kind of energy. And it's like, holy cow, who couldn't use that in today's world, right? I mean, that's one of the most common things that people go to doctors for is because they have lack of energy.
Well, let me just talk about this. So what you're saying is the inside of the cell would be coated with a sugar, would be coated with the bad carbohydrates that stops the cell from going forward. Is that what you're talking about here?
Oh yeah,
like a donut's coated, or like a fried chicken's coated with all that carbos on the outside.
You got it, yeah. And if you go to the donut shop today and reach your hand into the little thing where they have all the donuts on display, and just start grabbing them. Grab every donut in there and put your fingerprint on every single one. When you take your hand out, guess what? It's sticky, right?
Absolutely, it's sticky. And I'm not disciplined enough to do that quite yet. You throw me into a Krispy Kreme store, dude, I'm not coming out for a couple of days, so I just don't even go buy them. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but your hands are going to come out sticky, right?
And sticky as sticky can be.
Yeah, just imagine that's what's happening inside your cells. So if you can just imagine that in your cell you have a little crankshaft, and it's spinning around inside the cell, and it's generating energy like a little tiny combustion engine, right?
Yeah.
And it's got all that sticky sugar in there, right?
You can lick the sugar off your finger, Doc, and it doesn't come off. You got to go really wash that sugar off.
Yeah, you got to wash it, right? Not just wash it. You got to wash it.
You got to wash it, brother. I'm telling you.
You're not in Kansas anymore.
Oh, man. Sometimes I do speak Kansan. Someone said, "You speak multiple languages." I said, "Yeah, I speak American English and I speak Kansan." And
but yeah, that's just an example that you can use, and people get it. They can see that because they can go to that donut shop and they can touch one donut and they got all that stickiness on their fingers. Well, the crankshaft inside every cell is running that way. It's running with all that gunk. It's slowing it down, and then you have that fatty buildup in there, from burning the fat as energy and melting all that fat. I mean, just take and fry up some bacon tomorrow morning for breakfast. And I know Joyce was saying she was cooking up breakfast this morning when she got on the call. And I'm thinking, I imagine, hey, you got some bacon cooking there, and leave the grease in the pan. Leave the grease in the pan, and then tomorrow morning, look at what you got. You got some white grease stuck to the bottom of your pan. Well, that's what's happening inside your cells, not just in your arteries, but inside your cells. And so it's lining your cells with a sticky sugar and bacon grease. And who can't picture that? Who can't picture that? Even a vegetarian can picture that.
Oh, absolutely they can. You betcha. They can picture it. And that's a really good illustration. So what we're doing is trying to give you some language to help people get healthy. Give you some language to wrap your brain and heart around on what people can do in order to explain what we have our hands on here with this age bill. And so that's what the whole subject today is health. Well, health starts at a cellular level. Well, most companies don't have a product that goes to the cellular level. They'll say that, but not based on results. They'll say that based on, because that's what you want to hear, And it's like Tom was talking the other day, and Doc, I was hoping you would get into this a little bit. He used a word that had to do with how coenzyme Q10 does, and he said this is like 1,000 times better than your traditional coenzyme Q10. Was it ADT, ADP? What did he? I'm not sure what words he was using.
ATP, yeah.
ATP. Can you explain that a little bit and what the Age Pill does? Because I still take the the Omega Plus, which has coenzyme Q10 in it. But this is even going to go further beyond what the Q10 does, or it's in addition to, or can you jump into that? Do you have time to do that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me ask you this, DW. Do you remember in high school biology, do you remember the Krebs cycle?
The truth is, brother, I really just don't.
Well, basically, if you go back to your high school chemistry, your high school biology, your college biology, anything like that, there's a cycle that goes on in your body where your body takes hydrogen. It takes NAD, right? NAD. That's what our product makes in the body. You take the precursors, you put them together, you get NAD. NAD plus hydrogen, and all of a sudden you've got ATP. And ATP is the fuel that powers the engine in your body. So that's really, really simplified, but that's what happens. So ATP is like the hydrogen for the nuclear reactor inside your body, and so when I was talking to Tom on Sunday night, we were texting back and forth till about midnight, and I said it's just amazing what we're seeing with people having all this energy. And he said, oh yeah, he said you take a look at the results of what we're getting, and then on top of it, we've got 5-hydroxytryptophan, 5-HTP in the product. And you and I have talked about on the call before, DW. You remember what 5-HTP is a precursor for?
Heart disease.
No, we put it in the pill on purpose. We put it in there because it makes serotonin.
Oh yeah, it's for your brain.
Right.
The other heart.
Yep. So serotonin is one of the main feel-good chemicals in your body. It makes you feel good. When you give Miss Helen a box of chocolate for Valentine's Day, right?
Yep.
And she doesn't even open it. She hasn't even taken the wrapper off it. I mean, does she feel good?
Well, she feels good before, during, and after.
Yeah, but the reason why is because when she sees that chocolate, right?
Uh-huh.
It starts the increase of the serotonin. The serotonin starts to generate in the body, right? And it starts to release. And then you taste the chocolate, and the chocolate and the sugar, it causes a release of serotonin, and serotonin makes you feel good. And so when you're any type of food like that, there's so many different foods that cause a release of serotonin that right now in our country We actually have a lot of people, they say 50% of people are chemically deficient on serotonin. And that's partly because the food manufacturers, they've realized that they can add things like MSG to the food, and it causes serotonin to be released real quickly, right? And it makes people feel good, so you go, man, that those Doritos really made me feel good. I'm going to have some more. And so they can sell you more food. Well, so when you have the 5-HTP, it rebuilds those serotonin levels. So another thing that our A.G.E pill is doing that a lot of people haven't figured out yet is that it's making them feel good. So not only do we have more energy, we're gonna have more serotonin, and it's gonna make you feel really good and kind of get rid of the blues, get rid of those doldrums that we have.
Well, that's interesting because anything that releases and calms your stress down and gives you that serotonin release, it's a game changer. I got a haircut yesterday, and I was talking to the haircutter person, and I was talking about, do you know what causes gray hair? And, and the comment back was, the best we can tell in our industry, stress brings it on. There is hereditary stuff, but stress brings it on more than anything else. And I'll be honest with you, you feel less stress with the products that we take. Not just that. I mean, the Ultramax and the other products. I mean, there's less stress than you can shake a stick at. So what you're saying spot on. I mean, it's not a feel-good pill, but one of the side effects is, you're going to feel better.
You're going to feel a lot better. That's exactly it, DW. And who doesn't want to feel good? Who doesn't want to feel better? I mean, man, I'll tell you what. I mean, I know one guy. He's just kind of a grouch, and he likes being a grouch. It's kind of his MO. But the rest of the world, we don't want to feel like that. We want to get up and we want to go, come on, bring it on, baby. I'm ready.
Absolutely. I mean, it's game on. So, one of the other things that we have is that I've noticed is, I've done some athletic things recently, and there's guys in their 30s, and I'm literally, when it comes to stamina, I'm running circles around them. In other words, they got to stop, take a break. They've had enough. I'm ready to keep on going. I'm ready to do more and more and more. And so with that, some people will take the H pill. They'll start doing more, and then they're going to wake up the next day and they're going to feel kind of gunky simply because their muscles are doing things they haven't done in years. So keep that in mind when you take this pill, and it does give you that added energy along with the 4 Restore and the Triangle of Life TSX. You're going to do more once your muscles get used to doing more. Then you're going to do more again. So I thought I haven't peaked out yet on what I can do, And so, for an example, I don't like to go running and jogging, Doc. I mean, jogging to me, I was telling Chris this from Miami. He's hilarious. I say, man, I'm not a jogger. Every time I've seen a jogger, I see those guys out there, they look horrible. They look grouchy. They look angry. They look upset. They don't look happy at all. And, and so they just don't. They look constipated, Doc. I'm just saying they need some super detox. And they don't look happy. And another thing, it can wear your bones down sooner. So I took on some golf this summer. I played a few rounds each year, but this year I took on some golf. And I'm going out there and I'm hitting a couple buckets of balls and doing the jumping jacks and a bunch of crazy exercises out on the golf range because that's my gym. I want to be out. I'm like you. I'd rather go climb up something and do something than just, go to a gym, so to speak. So I've been doing gym things outside. And so I played golf the other day with these young guns, and I'm driving the ball further than they're driving it. And, I'm playing 2 rounds back-to-back, and they're so sore they can't even hardly get through the second round. When the second round's over, I want to go play 2 or 3 extra holes, and they're like, dude, we're done. And it's fun to feel like I did when I was in my 20s again, and go do that. So my muscles are being built. I'm losing weight. My brain is switched on. Miss Helen just, she had to go to Mom and Dad to take a break because I'm just too fired up. I'm just telling you. But no, she's there loving on. She's loving on her mom and dad and helping them get through some stuff. That's amazing. And that's another thing. When you talk about health, get your financial self healthy, and that relieves stress as well. And so people are seeing their hair color come back with this product, and these are, you can't deny, here's my color before, here's my color after. And I thought, how is that happening? And I run all the details of the A.G.E pill, the H pill, through the hair cutter person, and the results was simply, hey, it does help with serotonin, it does help with stress levels, and so less stress, better, healthier fingers and nails and hair and toenails and all the things that are involved there. So, and Doc, I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, you can run with it if you want, or just drop it. I don't know if you're picking up what I'm throwing or catching what I dropped. I don't know.
I'm here, man. The one thing that I've noticed is that, and I haven't seen a lot of people mention this yet, but the one thing that I've really noticed since I started taking the A.G.E pill is that my memory has improved so much. I mean, and I've always, that's been one of the things that I've really been proud to say to people, is that I had a memory that, I mean, it was sharp as a tack. Somebody could tell me something and I'd remember it. I could read a book and I could remember it. I mean, I went through engineering up here at North Dakota State, and I mean, I guess my kids aren't here, so I can say this. I mean, I skipped a lot of class because I could read the book or I could go to class once and I got it. I didn't have to be told the same thing over and over again. And I went through engineering college, probably going to school a third of the time. The other 2/3 I did other things, right? And hunt, fished, all those things. And I went to school for engineering. And then the last, really, I'm going to say the last 5 years, I started realizing that my brain wasn't functioning the way that I liked it. It wasn't functioning the way that I was used to it functioning. And now that I've been on the H pill, I mean, holy cow, I got that memory back again, DW. I can read a book once and somebody will say, well, did you read that book? I said, yeah, I read it yesterday. And they said, you went through the whole book yesterday? I said, yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's amazing, and you can recall what's going on. I mean, we talk about memory, and I have a little fun here with it, but, I have an incredible memory. It just doesn't last long. I mean, a lot of people have that problem, Doc. No, really, seriously, I got a photographic memory, but I've just been out of film lately.
There you go.
It switches your brain on. It switches your brain on, and when you're talking about cells, are there cells in the brain, Doc, yes or no?
Oh, lots of cells.
Okay, so
literally lots of cells.
I mean, it's jam packed with cells, and so with that said, if there is glycation in your cells, it doesn't say, oh, just the cells that are below the neck. It's everywhere. So when that glycation goes out, when that plaque gets taken out of the cell, then you can start operating at optimal health rate, and it supports getting that junk out of even the cells that are in the brain. So hence, the result is you got a healthier brain than you've ever had. A 20-year-old healthy brain is your destination if you decide to make the wise decision and really take health on. Or go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can take sickness on. We're great with that. Take sickness on, Just do it, if that's what you want to do. But, Doc, I chose a long time ago. Man, I'm taking health on. I'm taking it on. I am on it, buddy.
Yeah, and when you talk about the brain, I mean, one of the things, and I'm trying to just give people pointers so when they go out and talk to other people, they've got a little bit of ammunition so they can say, well, how does it do that? Well, think about this. Your brain, right, it's 60 to 70% fat cells. 60 to 70%. All of the connections, all the little wires. Let's say your brain is a computer, and what's the wires? What's the connections? Well, the connections come from fat. That's what makes the connections. So if you have lipofusion, right? Lipo, fat. Think of liposuction, lipofusion, right? And when you think of fuse, it's fusing something together. So it's fusing fat together. So if your brain has lipofusion in it, right? It's fusing the wrong kinds of fats together, so you're not going to have the right connections, right? And then you think about what does your brain use for fuel? Your brain uses sugar for fuel. And so glycation, when you hear gly, it's usually associated with sugar, right? So again, start thinking sugar, fat, okay? The brain needs the sugar for fuel. It uses the fat to make the connections. So if you have glycation and lipofusion, one of the first things that's going to be affected is the brain. And so if you have a product like the A.G.E pill, what's it going to do if it's removing glycation and removing lipofusion? Then on top of it, you increase the serotonin levels. I mean, we really should just call it the brain pill.
That's exciting. And we could talk about this every week because results, and we may just spend a few weeks on it, We'll see what happens. But so going back to that one thing we were talking about, that with the coenzyme Q10, I want to make sure that we're clear. What's that difference, or how's that better than coenzyme Q10? Not that you don't want to you want to hit it from two different angles. So I'm trying not to say take one, not the other. I'm just saying I haven't wrapped my brain around how to explain that to someone yet, Doc.
Well, the coenzyme Q10, it's needed for the function of primarily the coronary, the cardiac muscles, and so you need that. And if you have the glycation, it blocks it from doing its job.
Okay.
And so that's why it makes it work so much better. I mean, even resveratrol, right? We've heard of resveratrol turning on the sirtuin gene, right? So
Correct.
It switches the sirtuin gene on. Well, again, another little known fact that a lot of people aren't realizing is that, so if you're turning the sirtuin gene on, the gene of youthfulness, NAD, right, which is what we got the precursors for in our product. What happens is NAD is the fuel for the sirtuin gene. So if you turn it on but you don't have any NAD, it doesn't do any good. You don't feel any younger, and that's why some people, they take Eternity and they go, well, I don't feel any different. Well, take the Eternity along with the A.G.E pill, with the age pill. Now you're turning on the gene of youthfulness and you're fueling it with the ATP that's coming from the A.G.E pill.
Okay, that makes more sense to me now.
Yeah, so one of the talks that I did on my Thursday morning at my 6 o'clock in the morning call is I spent about an hour talking about what products are necessary, what products should you take along with the A.G.E pill, and I spent an hour talking about why you need Fucoid, why you need Eternity, why do you need the coenzyme Q10, why do you need the omega-3s, why do you need this, why do you need the Spectromax, and I spent an hour on that, talking about why each individual pill, each individual extract that we actually have is still necessary, because some people say, oh, I don't need to take all that other stuff. It's like, no, you still need to take that other stuff, right? I mean, you don't take and put premium fuel in your car and say, well, I don't need antifreeze, right? Yeah. You still need antifreeze, and you still need transmission fluid, and you still need all those other things. Well, your body still needs all that other stuff, even in addition to the A.G.E pill. I mean, it's a magical pill, but you still need all the other stuff, and that's why, like when you were saying. You mentioned that we need, finances. We need to be in good financial health. I mean, you do, because if you're going to be buying all these products and you're going to be taking all these products, and you don't want to be sitting there going, man, I can't buy any milk this week because I'm buying too many pills. Well, get to work and go out and share the information, share this call with other people, and all of a sudden now the company's going to send you enough money that everything's free. How'd you like to be in Sisel for free? Everything's free if you do it right.
Well, let me tell you something. You asked that question, how do I like it? I love it. Because our first goal was to get it to where our products were paid for by our building our business, putting our distribution system together. Our second goal was to get a car bonus, and which we did. And we just set those goals, and we had that done. I mean, we got it done in like 30 days. Boom, bam. And so
done.
You're done. I mean, just people need loved on. And when you don't tell me you love me and not tell me about the H pill or tell me about the Triangle of Life and not tell me about the coenzyme Q10, can you imagine, Doc, going through necrotizing fasciitis, soft tissue without these products? I wouldn't be here. So don't tell me you love me.
Say that word 3 times really fast.
Don't tell me you love me and not share Sisel. Doc, that's the end of the call. I mean, we're done. I mean, we reached it so fast. Love doing this with you. I know we have a little fun, everybody. Hopefully you enjoy the humor. And Doc and I play off each other real well. you don't have to remember everything you learned in your high school chemistry class. As long as Doc remembers it, you're in good shape. And so, those things don't matter. And he's not trying to make me look dumb or stupid. It's just a lot of people don't realize, hey, you've learned this. You just didn't realize what you were learning. And it's fascinating to understand my inside of my cell has the same kind of greasy plaque on it that a donut would have or fried chicken would have, and this pill comes in and cleans that junk out. I mean, like, bam, right now. The next thing you want to do is stop putting that junk in there, all right? So get to the point to where you really want optimal health and you want support. Support yourself by eating the right foods. And, Doc, I am eating extraordinary clean right now, just like how you've been doing. And getting way more exercise. Love doing it. But that's it for the Doctor's Clinic call, where the world is your waiting room. Thank you so much for participating and being a part of this call today. And on the playback, don't be afraid to share that with a few people. Let us share Sisel for you. Let us do your work for you, and you reap the benefits by sharing this call with others. Doc, thanks for being part of this, man. We appreciate you big time. And that call that you did for an hour, if you could get that email to Miss Helen, she'll blast it out on Sisel Builders, space DW. She'll get that put on there and a few other places, and also promote it on your Facebook page as well. So if you could help with that, Doc, thank you for today. You're awesome.
You bet. I'll get it to you later today.
All right.
Have a good one. Thanks for having me on. Bye-bye.
You bet, everybody. Get this call out, man. Use wisdom. Don't tell somebody you love them and not share this call with them. Talk to you soon. We're over now. Love them and not share this